more aero development than this car has ever had. So I'm calling those guys out. Just turned into fumes, and I thought I was going to pass out like Dye did. A lot of people look past the R35 platform just because it's, well, pretty expensive, but it's also really heavy. You know, driving experience. I think most people, if they had the opportunity to just hop in this, they would just be blown away by how it handles and how fast it is and how good it brakes and actually how easy it is to drive.
If you turn back time and if you have to choose a car again, would you choose the same car to start?
Getting parts for these now is great. The blocks are like $7 grand. You know, a stock tranny on eBay, if you need, you know, a full tranny is, you know, 14 or something stupid.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we have David Haagsma. All right, David. What's going on, man?
Nothing, just hanging out.
So this is a Sub-2 Club car, but not your everyday Sub-2 Club car. This is a Sub-40 car. David, before we get into the car, tell me how this drug began for you.
So I always grew up racing dirt bikes, ATVs when I was little. My first car was a truck, you know, since we're a dairy farmer. Didn't get a first, you know, sports car until probably 18. I got a Subaru STI. That immediately started it, modified it, you know, brought it to the track every once in a while, built the motor, and, you know, made a little over 5 horsepower, tracked it, and then just, it wasn't quite enough and I'd get beat by GTRs. So eventually I sold that car, got this GTR off of eBay from a guy in Hollywood, which was pretty crazy. But 2009 GTR, BBS wheels, HKS suspension, just, you know, just to slam it basically. But it was exact opposite of what this car was. It was super clean, nice little show car. And, you know, I would take it to the track and have fun. And then one day, Speed District was sharing a day with Global Time Attack, but it was the Pro-Am. I'm looking at the times and I'm like, I would have podiumed if I was competing. So before even doing an event, I brought this to SP Engineering because they were already tuning it. We did JRZ suspension and a couple other, you know, light mods, and I went to the first, you know, my first Global Time Attack event, and that's kind of how it all started.
What other cars have you had before this?
I've had probably 3 or 4 Subaru STIs or WRXs, or, you know, I would basically get one, sell it, miss it, get one, you know, and then after like the 4th one I learned, you know, stop buying Subaru STIs or WRXs just because, yeah, I don't know if don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but they're just not that fast. And they take a lot of work to make them go fast. Other than that, I really, not a lot of cars. You know, I daily drive a pickup. This is my only car I have. I was doing stupid stuff, street racing, going freeway in this car, and it was just, I was getting married, and it was just time to make this a race car and keep it that way. And I don't get as much use as it now as I used to, but I still thought it was a good decision. And, you know, a lot of great memories, you know, records, stuff like that. Don't regret it, a lot of fun, a lot of work and a lot of money, but, you know, it's just something different than just having your everyday cool car driving every day.
You're still racing is it ATV that you
just on and off, I just do fun stuff. We got invited to a Legends race because I retired in 2016 racing ATVs. So just every once in a while, if a friend invites me or whatever, I'll go take an ATV out or a 3-wheeler or whatever. 2 kids and 1 on the way, business, you know, you just get busy and, you know, it's just a couple events a year instead of every month like it used to be.
Right. So with that said, let's get into the car.
I'll start with the main thing because, you know, it's got the GT3 replica body kit from Bad Designs. You know, there's a lot of guys that run this. You know, honestly, not the best fit and finish, but it's like a 1/4 of the price of the, you know, authentic stuff. And it gets the job done.
Is it all carbon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a little thick. Now that I know more about carbon, I can see where they made mistakes and stuff like that, but they're still priced, you know, I think where they should be. But now you get stuff from Spaceport and some other brands, and then you realize how good their carbon is. You know, it's a little heavier than it needs to be, way more resin, it's a little flexy, but overall, it's hard to beat. You know, it shaved a lot of weight off this car, and it's held up pretty good.
Speaking of weight, how much does the car weigh?
I would say about 3250. Okay. If I put the carbon brakes back on the front, that would shave another 20 pounds. The new splitter coming should be 10-15 pounds lighter. And there's still a lot of stock frame in this car that can be chopped off to save weight. I just haven't got there. It's a lot of fab work and a lot of time, and Right now I just want to get the car going again and going to events for a while, and then if we need to find more speed, then I'll go and cut more weight out. But I don't think you'll ever get under 3,000 pounds with the R35 and keeping all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So pretty heavy when you look at other cars. All-wheel drive with 330 wide tires, it's got a lot of grip. So
Oh yeah. The GT3s weigh under 3, right?
yeah, they're like 2,800 pounds, but a GT3 is rear-wheel drive, custom A-arms in the front, the motor's moved back, and even more of the chassis is cut out than this car. And their carbon work is, it's 10,000 for a bumper instead of 2,000. The budget is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Where they're getting that weight off. But yeah, that's where most of it is. This is still stock ECU and ABS and stuff like that. So there's places to cut weight. Right now it's good. It's got to be one of the lighter R35s, but yeah, definitely more to be had.
Cool. What's the horsepower right now?
Right now, so we used to run at 800. The motor's getting tired. I ran that motor. I mean, they built that. It lasts like 6-7 years. Bunch of events, street driving, all that. This one, the new motor, new turbo kit from SP. It's their Reaper kit. Right now it's at like 1,020, I think, wheel horsepower.
1,020.
We just ran out of fueling, so I'd have to redo how the whole fuel system works. And yeah, that was about the power level I wanted to do. We're not dry sump or anything like that either, so I think going over 1,000 is already pushing it on, without a dry sump. But yeah, we'll see.
That much power is kind of scary.
Yeah. So at 800, even in colder weather, you pretty much romp out of anywhere in Buttonwillow, and it would hook. And then we just went out Saturday with the new horsepower, and yeah, it takes a little more throttle control, but man, it still hooks after like 60 miles an hour, which is most of the track anyway. So yeah, it was a little scary to get used to the power, especially I haven't driven it in a long time. But a lot more torque than the old turbos, and yeah, it just ripped.
The current record on this car, PB, is 137 something, right?
Yeah, so 137.7 at
137.7.
Buttonwillow.
It's kind of weird that 137 is a number that everybody hits. Like,
Yeah.
Like William Civic is 137.
Yep.
And then Billy Johnson, he's 137 too, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of the wall, but I mean, I know people will get past that. I mean, we had in data that if I was a better driver, it would probably have been under a 137. But I'm not a pro car driver. I'm a dairy farmer, so but that in time attack, that's how I feel. I really respect the guys that go out. It's their car, they're driving it, they're tinkering with it. I don't do everything on this. I can't do everything on this, but I mess with this thing all day. Probably 1,000 rivets in this thing because of me. I probably screw up more stuff than I need to, but I really do enjoy it, and I feel like that's, people fight over the spirit of time attack. This is a GTR with a bunch of bolt-on stuff that you can buy. So, yeah, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, and you're not a pro race car driver, but you're still an amazing driver. I think you're being modest.
Okay. Well,
but about the dairy farm comment, yeah, he's not joking around.
Yeah. So everyone gives me crap for this thing always being dirty, covered in cobwebs, and needs a bath, but they got to understand why. We're like 50 feet from cows and dust all day long. So, and I'm not renting a shop to keep it clean. So it sits at the dairy. So
let's start with the aero bits.
Okay.
You got a Spage.
Yeah, that's Spage Sport. That's their universal splitter. They only sold it for maybe a couple years. I don't know why they don't make them anymore. Maybe they didn't sell enough, but pretty modest tunnels, very wide. And I don't have a lot of time with this. The record was with the GT3 splitter with, modified to make a little more downforce. We have the GT3 canards. I don't know if they do anything, but I know most aerodynamicists want those ripped off immediately. So then maybe that'll be in the future, but I just like the look. The hood is a GT3 replica, but it's missing a lot of the ducting. I think that's where they make a lot of their downforce, is having it all the way ducted through, which would probably help. Another couple things we added. Got race louvers over the front tire. These are also Spage Sport vents.
Nice.
Which they're really good quality. We did some custom carbon fiber work by me. It's not very great, but I didn't want to do a mold, so you know, I wrapped it with tape, put carbon on it, let it dry, sanded it, and after a couple times, I'm like, you know what, it's good enough, and it will help vent.
It's actually pretty good quality.
Yeah, it's a little thick and heavy, but no, it's been a lot of fun messing with carbon fiber. I think I would eventually try whole fenders and kind of block this whole area in and help more air evacuate. Side skirts are also by VAD. The doors are from eBay. Actually, really good carbon quality.
Oh yeah.
I think they're from Russia, but they don't sell it in Russia because it was, I don't know where they're from. But another thing where they were half price of, you know, people in the States.
Very cool.
And then, yeah, overtake. What do you call it? A-pillars.
Okay.
And then this is basically all of what's left of the stock body.
Okay.
And then the hood is still stock aluminum. And I have a carbon one, but I don't know how to rip it off, so I might need to go to the body shop.
I would imagine you won't really save much weight.
No, it's
Just
one of those
aluminum.
things, yeah, it's just sitting there, and one was for sale, so I bought it and then just sat because, yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of work for like a pound or two. But Lexan windows, that's a big thing. The wing is APR GT1000. The singular end plates are new, and I don't really have a lot of time. Don't know if they work or not. But I just like the look of them. I like these guys. They're always out racing. And I saw these kind of around everywhere, Buttonwillow, and I just wanted to try them. The diffuser is, it says RHR, but I think he's changed his name again. Yeah, but I think it was AJR or whatever it is.
Oh, is that what the? Yeah.
Right? What was his name again? Wasn't it?
know.
Now I'm going to Google
AJ Hartman?
Yeah, AJ Hartman.
AJ Hartman.
So it's
Okay.
AJ Hartman diffuser. I think for a split second he was RHR Performance.
Oh.
That's why I'm confused. Because I'm like, I've watched his YouTube videos a million times. We cut this out just for some air relief. Don't know if it works, but another time attack thing. I see other guys do it. This is a wet carbon trunk that I just ripped the internals out because I didn't want to spend $2,500 just to save a pound. So it's a little flimsy. Yeah, and for aero stuff, it's got a flat body, but it's just Aluminite. Makes it like a couple weekends before it melts from the exhaust.
Is that a camera?
Yeah, I was really tempted to, if I had I got rid of my rear glass, but I wanted to make a mold and do carbon and just carbon it off.
Yeah.
And then look out the back. So it's just a Amazon, you know, truck camera with like a 10-inch screen. And even, you probably didn't notice, I did side ones too, just to try them out.
Oh, is that what that is?
But
Man.
the other day at Buttonwillow, I couldn't see anything unless the guys were like in my grill. So I'll probably just switch it full screen to the back.
Yeah.
And I ended up with like the biggest ones possible because I think they're off my motorhome.
Security system.
So it works a lot just driving around.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the moment when you're racing, there's a little glare. It's hard to see. So I'll probably just stick with just the rear view at all times. But just trying to get every little thing, make it go a little quicker.
Yeah.
I still have carbon brakes in the rear and then AP racing
Okay.
in the front. I just was having trouble keeping the fronts alive with the carbon. For outright lap time, like I don't think you can beat them. But this is a heavy car, and I'm hard on brakes as a driver, that it's just been hard to keep them alive. So I bought AP, big brake kit in the front, and kept the carbon in the rear. And that added weight back to the front, but it's more consistent feel, and those things will just last pretty much forever.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, if I go back at Buttonwillow and I'm struggling for lap time, I'll probably slap on the carbons again, because I think they are worth a pretty significant chunk of time.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had a lightweight S14, anything like that, and you had the budget for it because they're expensive, you're losing weight in probably the best portion of the car that you can, and it is pretty outrageous. I can actually grab the rotor so you can feel how light it is.
They're like, what, a couple grand to replace?
Yeah,
Or
the
more?
whole kit's 10. So the two front would
Yeah.
be, yeah, $5 grand. And I mean, Rob helped me out. Great guy, the owner of the company. I couldn't keep him alive. I think I need more brake cooling, but it's just too heavy of a car.
Okay.
But the record is on those brakes.
On these brakes?
No, the carbon brakes.
Gotcha.
They are. It turns so fast. It brakes so hard. Yeah, everyone's like impressed with how fast it accelerates, but how fast the thing stopped was even crazier. Yeah, over 3 Gs for a heavy car like this in the braking zone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which other time attack cars get, but they're 2,700 pounds with more aero.
Yeah.
And they get in that 3G range. But yeah, you'd be coming in Riverside with glowing brakes and hoping you're going to make the turn.
The wheels and tires?
Tires are Yokohama slicks, and then the wheels are CCW. I don't know what they're
18 by 12 maybe?
18 by 13.
13.
I'm trying to think if they're forged or not.
Oh, I see.
I mean, they're not cheap, but they were on the budget side. But a decent wheel. I bought other wheels from Life Motorsports, but it didn't fit like I wanted them to. They're a little too wide. They must have a wider body kit than me.
Oh, okay.
But just pretty big offset.
And this is a 330, 710, 18.
Yeah, and then the suspension, so we have the full WiseFab kit, and you can actually, when it comes with the manual, you can set it up for a 710 or a 680 tall tire. And that was probably one of the biggest changes, was putting a suspension kit and getting it dialed in, but they make a really good kit. Before that, it was just, SPL arms and links, and that wasn't bad, but the WiseFab kit, very expensive, but worth the money.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah. So a little bit of oil from the last drive, and it pumps out power steering fluid like crazy. But yeah, SP Engineering block, their transmission, their turbos, intercooler, it's all their stuff. Still stock intake manifold. We were, didn't go budget crate. You could still spend more money on these things. It could never end. I know the drag racers probably know, but
yeah,
I don't know how they do it, but still 3.8, not a stroker. That would be another big hit in the wallet category.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing crazy. This is like, a lot of guys know someone with a GTR with 1,000 horsepower driving around, especially, you go to LA, even in Bakersfield, they're cruising around. So this build is not that crazy. You could put this in a daily driver and drive it to work every day. It is no problem.
Is the transmission built too?
Yeah, transmission's built, be a Datsun Pro Max, all gears, just everything that it takes to, hold this power level.
Okay.
Straight away, SP Engineering is just like, you need at least a clutch, some clips, and some little stuff, or maybe a first gear, for that power level. As I drove it more, we did another transmission, a little bit more built, and then that got a lot of time on it. And when we did this, we redid the transmission completely with gears and everything, and a heavy-duty clutch. But yeah, as long as you don't skimp, they're pretty good, but not, it's racing, nothing's bulletproof, but
right.
Yeah, you start messing around with big power.
Yeah.
I wouldn't launch this thing.
The JRZs, what are the spring rates?
We just switched it, because we've been chasing that a lot, so to keep the front end up now with the new aero, but I think it's 1,700 pound in the front.
1,700 pounds.
And then 1,500 in the rear. Okay. I'd have to go check the boxes, but I have like a crate of springs to try to get this thing to handle. I even did, I was getting anything to keep it up before we rebuilt the suspension, and I had Professional Awesome, rubber stump.
Yeah.
Well, that thing was, JRZ has a really thick shaft,
right.
So that didn't work. So I drilled that with the hole saw, put it on the shaft. That wasn't enough. And then we had like aluminum spacers on it to bump it even closer. So it was basically riding on the bump stop. Now most of that's sorted. But yeah, it takes a lot of work to get these high aero cars to still grip and still not bottom out. Because you start, at the end of the straightaway, this thing starts just like
going down, huh?
Going down, and then you're scraping on the bumps until you hit the corner. So you feel it, and that's with some heavy spring rates.
Insane.
But yeah, they're just three-way, and that's like their motorsport line. And we did three-way because I was limited class for a long time, and then I just thought it'd be more fun to go unlimited. But it probably would have been fun to chase the record in the limited class, but I'm only a tire, a windshield, and a dash away from a limited car. I think most people freak out, but limited class, you can go pretty much
Right.
as far as you want to.
Right.
But yeah, you give me a weekend, and it could be a limited car again. But I just have more fun on the slicks. It's way less sketchy for this heavy of a car.
Yes.
You know, I see that in World Time Attack, guys delaminating tires. They just need to be on race slicks. I mean, almost all those classes do. That's a really grippy tire, the AO50 or whatever they run, but these cars are just getting too fast, too much aero for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't tell me, I would actually
Yeah.
say this is almost stock.
Yeah.
Except the red paint.
Yeah, the intake manifold really pushes it. The red was just because we had it off, and yeah, his engineer asked if I wanted a color. I'm like, well, might as well do something so it looks like we did something. But yeah, a lot of people will do the intake, the manifolds, pretty premature. I don't know if shops just convince them to buy it, but it's not really robbing horsepower under like 1200. And we have dyno charts where people put the big ones on it, and you're actually losing spool, you're losing power.
Yeah, you gain a little
But
bit
it
of
looks
upper
cool.
end. But
Yeah,
then,
yeah. Where you're there for a tenth of a second.
Right.
And then we got a little tag from Cole, Life Motorsport.
Cool.
Put that on when we raced against them, and it melted on there. So I'm not buying a new boost tube, so we'll sport him a little bit.
Yeah. What a crazy build. What are these?
Oh, so I don't know where they're at, but it's just a splitter rod.
Oh,
Comes through
gotcha. Yeah.
So you have the stock bumper beam, and then through here I have one more mount that goes out there,
Gotcha.
just to stop a little bit of flex.
Yeah.
Latch.
All right. Looking at the inside. Who did the cage?
Jason Noren out of, I want to say Chino or Ontario.
Okay.
Did it a long time ago. Really good welder, really good fab guy.
Yeah. Looks like he TIG welded everything. Nice.
Yeah, other than that, it's as much as the stock stuff as I could remove without it freaking out, which is not that much in the Corvette, or I mean in the GTR. Like if I take this stock instrument cluster out, the car won't start.
Right. All the wiring madness.
Yeah, everything has to be connected to itself. Yeah, I think even some guys that have gone more extreme and done race dashes, this is still somewhere hidden in the car, and they just panel over it basically because it's, yeah, modern cars are really nice. Pretty stock, all the stock buttons, stock gas pedal, stock brake. I do have a race bred footrest, which was nice.
Nice.
And then EcuTech ECU. Yeah, and then some stock stuff just zip tied and duct taped in there.
Kind of hidden behind.
Yeah.
The only thing non-stock I see is the
Oh yeah, so
crossover thing.
the exhaust.
Yeah. Does it get hot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first time we did it, we rattled can that, and then that paint turned into fumes, and I thought I was going to pass out like Dye did. You remember he had the exhaust leak in his car?
No.
He was doing the spoon car, and I think he almost passed out. He had to open the door.
Oh,
and I was similar thing. I'm driving down, going to the pits with the door wide open to try to breathe.
Oh man.
But yeah, now it's been good. And then the mount is cut and lowered, and that's new after the record.
Gotcha.
About an inch lower.
Sitting too high? Were
yeah,
you sitting
yeah,
too high?
it's really tall.
It's kind of weird. All the Nissan cars are like that.
Yeah. No, I don't know why. There's plenty of room. There's nothing underneath it. So I don't know why they do it so low or so high.
You haven't really changed any of this, right? Because I see
No.
like spot wheels here. Is that
Oh no,
all?
yeah, nothing.
Okay, that's all OEM.
Yeah, really this car should be torn to frame again, painted and welded in more spots.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of stuff that you can take out still.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, with the 137,
Yeah. No, I mean, there's always something, but
right? How much more?
yeah, if you send it to a shop to do it, I mean, no one's doing cheap labor anymore.
Right.
So
right. Like, how much do you want to go?
you drop it off for a
faster,
couple
you
weeks,
know?
and then you come back and you're like,
It's like 5-digit, right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
It's pretty simple. After you see it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
people are blown away. A lot of people look past the R35 platform just because it's, well, pretty expensive, but it's also really heavy. But if you look past that, it is a heck of a platform. And I really just think they're ahead of their time, because this is what, I mean, these cars were built so long ago, but
Yeah.
like the C8 Corvette weighs almost as much as what a GTR weighed back in the day, and it was all-wheel drive. So it's not like they were way too heavy. They just maybe they got heavy before everyone else with a lot of the technology and super smart. But now you see the new M3s are heavy. All these sport cars
Yeah.
are super heavy now. The GTR is really not that bad. It gained a little weight because they went a little more luxury. You know, I think trying to make all the old people happy driving these cars. I always wanted them just like plain roll up windows, just make them fast, you know,
Yeah.
but a whole different, that's what I think a GTR should be, not a luxury car that sells for $250,000 at the dealership now, or whatever the Nismos are.
David, so between this and your ATV racing, which one was more fun for you?
It just depends on the day. You know what I mean? Sometimes you race an ATV and it's the greatest feeling ever, but just like how extreme this is compared to that, I don't think there's anything that compares to this. I couldn't imagine cars that are faster than this, you know, like RP6
968?
968. Yeah, I was trying to figure the numbers. You know, nothing corners like this, nothing brakes like this, the G-forces, just how planted you are, you know, and like getting that record lap, just how good everything has to go to do it. You know, I've had great memories in off-road racing, but it was more of like the racing situation, not the actual feeling. You know, you just give me an empty track in this, and I'm happy. I don't care about lap times or what's going on or who I'm beating. I really just enjoy driving this car when everything works well. You know, they're a lot of work, and most of the time you go out and there's going to be issues and you're chasing them the whole time. You know, driving experience, I think most people, if they had the opportunity to just hop in this, they would just be blown away by how it handles and how fast it is and how good it brakes and actually how easy it is to drive. It's not as intimidating as like a full-blown race car. It's still very streetable if it needed to be.
If you turn back time and if you have to choose a car again, would you choose the same car to start?
Probably not, just because the GTR's like powertrain and stuff is just so expensive. The transmission alone, you know, I guess it's not that much different like an Albin's transmission or, you know, full race thing, but getting parts for these now is great. The blocks are like $7,000. You know, a stock tranny on eBay, if you need, you know, a full tranny is, you know, 14 or something stupid. So the parts for this are getting very expensive. There's always been the GTR tax just because there's not as many cars. It's not mass produced like a Corvette or something like that where a shop can make 10,000 parts and then gift you one, you know, as like a sponsorship. The guys that do these parts, they're making like 50 of them and that's it. So yeah, it's just a heavy platform. I don't know if I'd go like Corvette or even, you know, like I was talking about, like a S14, gut it and put this engine in it with a race transmission, kind of like Tanuki did. Because that car has a lot of money into it, but I don't think it's as crazy as people think. You know, if you have the rule set to do that, to go full blown and almost have a gutted, you know, tube chassis car with a chassis on top of it, then it'd be somewhere in that. A million ways you can do it. I don't regret doing the GTR because for someone that doesn't drive a lot and can hop in it and go fast, I think this is one of the only cars you really could do that and feel comfortable. And it's just very driver friendly. So for a guy that hops, you know, I think I didn't drive it for 2 years before the record and then didn't drive it again for 2 years after that. So yeah, it's worked out, and yeah, a lot of memories in this car. But yeah, I think maybe something lighter would be better, but yeah, we'll see.
All right. I have a feeling I'm going to see a different car here next time.
No.
No? You're still going to have this, right?
No, I think I would chase it, at least gut the front and rear and tube chassis it and make the aero, you know, ducted and, you know, outlet for the radiator.
Yeah.
And a little bit of new aero, and I think this car would go crazy fast.
Yeah.
I don't think you see a lot of these fast cars because it's usually either shop cars that are actually worried about how much money they put into it. We've had like HKS and Life, and it looks like those guys spent $1 billion, but I know they cut back in certain areas where they could.
Yeah.
Life probably made their car a little too heavy, a little too draggy, and HKS just put everything on the catalog that they could because they're a business and they're trying to make money. But yeah, I think I would just gut it. If I get another 200 pounds out of this, more aero, 1,000 horsepower is fine now, but if in the future it probably needs more to even go faster, then it's reliability and stuff like that you're chasing. But I think R35 is a really good platform, just not a lot of people have pushed it anywhere near you know, the limit.
Any shout outs, David?
Yeah, we'll do SP Engineering. You know, these guys, you know, just from an email, you know, to tune my car back in the day to now just doing everything. They've always been great. Alex, the owner, always responds right away if I have an issue. They've been super nice. Bad for helping me out getting this kit. You know, I still paid for it, but they made it a great experience. Rob from RPS. I'm not using his front brakes right now, but his back brakes are still on the car. And like I said, if I need some extra lap time, I'm putting those fronts back on just because for outright lap time, I don't think there's a brake that's better than that. You gotta think Caliber Customs, they do a lot of the fab work, mounting the splitter, the exhaust, the diffuser, flat bottom, all that stuff. You know, and he's also done time attack and helps a lot of other people. I think that's about it. A lot of it, APR for the, you know, they helped me out with the aero in the beginning. I would go to their shop and we would cut out a splitter, you know, out of a cardboard template. And I didn't know what I was doing at the time. Always been good. You know, they'll help me with the mirrors, the wing. That GT1000 has been great. So,
any final word or final message you want to say?
Yeah, we need more big time attack builds. So, yeah, if you're, you know, don't listen to your wife, whatever. Just build your car, do it. You'll enjoy it. Tinker with it. You know, the U.S. unlimited time attack cars. There's not that many, and you know, the certain guys that are out there probably want to push it more than they want to, but I know budget and life and everything gets in the way. But I can kind of tell people are really spending a lot of time and effort in like street class records. More aero development than this car has ever had. So I'm calling those guys out. Just go up to the next class or even just go straight and limited because, yeah, the resources they spent for street class records, I'm like, they could have built a time attack car that would do like 135. So, yeah, that's what I would like to see.
Well, thank you for your time,
no
David.
problem.
Good luck with their new setup, and I hope you crush your PB, man.
Yep. Get everything dialed in, probably do a couple more tests, and then we'll be out in Buttonwillow in November. That's kind of what my stack of brand new sticker tires are for, and hopefully we go out, you know, beat the record, but try to get 36s or 36s. You know, even the car can do it faster than that. So, yeah, we'll see if everything goes right. There should be a new record.
All right. Well, we're rooting for you. So
thank you. Wow. Yeah. So that was my grandpa. This was his bike. Yeah. You see that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's got a little bit of storage from houses and stuff. Yeah. This is our break room. Got the slot machine, the games, and then yeah, my dad's motorcycle collection, which is probably worth more than the GTR, a lot more.
Did he race?
Yeah, he raced until he got like intermediate, and then he got ran over, and he said he needed to work for a living. So, but this is why I got into it.
It's in your DNA. It looks like. And that's a cool bike.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's got another one in the other garage too. He's starting to take over that one. And then, yeah, that is our old house, the like triple wide trailer, and that has old motorcycles in it too.
Oh my God.
The ones that don't make the cut.
Oh, national champion, wow.
Well, those are all my trophies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
This one just went to Mecum, and the bid went on at like 20 grand.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Those are like 15, 20 grand. They're all worth. You start
like
adding it up.
Historic race.
I mean, there's motorcycles that even motorcycle guys don't know exist. Yeah, that one's Harley Davidson and partnered with AMF, the bowling alley. Super rare.
Yeah, all the trophies you won, huh?
Yep, a lot of racing. Yeah, and then we got more.
Oh yeah. That's all you or your dad?
No, all me.
Oh wow.
I was lucky enough to race a lot. My dad worked more. And then this is actually cool. So he went to Chino High.
Did he really? Wow.
And they had a motocross team.
That is cool.
In high school.
That's cool.
And he would show me, every time we drive through there, he'll be like, oh yeah, that used to be a motocross track and now it's like a Target or, you know, some kind of shopping center or a huge building. But yeah, that's where he grew up. And yeah, that would never fly in today's age.
Right. Right.
Way too dangerous to have a motocross team.
Sweet car too.
Yeah, and that's a It's only a 383, but it's all original.
Nice.
And of course, covered in dust and cobwebs because we live on a dairy.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you at the next one.